Back. I think this is episode 6 of the Macintosh hunting kilt. So, motion sickness alert. I'll try not to jump scare you at the end by suddenly hitting the wrong button and reversing the camera. So I had the customer by yesterday for trial fitting because, again, it's always best to do so, particularly as I'm sort of finding my way in tailoring for the female figure. So we tried it on. I asked her to wear cycling shorts, something, because I have to fit it on to the person. They can't step into the changing room and come back. So we put it on, and the first thing, because as I always do, I'd temporarily fastened a buckle and a strap. And what I tend to do is, let's say, okay, there's 5 holes here. I put it on the second hole. Generally, I shoot to fasten it in around the middle of the strap, and then there it is on the inside. Test it to the person, and then mark where the end of the strap is going to be. And now, because pretty soon we're going to be pressing this, I'm just going to put a back stitch of basting thread. Get in there. Right here. Because, of course, that chalk mark is going to disappear under the iron, isn't it? So, yeah, so I fitted it to her, and particularly when I wanted to, I was, literally trying it on her to see, first off, again, where to set that strap. Second, by putting it on her, I could just mark where the right-hand edge of the outer apron would be at the waist, at the hip, and at the bottom. So just taking advantage of gravity to show exactly, to get it right the first time. Also taking a look, speaking of gravity, looking to see how the pleats hang, because if you do a trial fitting, you take a look at how the pleats are draped, and if they're draped, and I haven't quite defined this in my own mind, I suppose, but if I look at the way the pleats are hanging on this trial fitting, and they don't, and here's a nebulous phrase, they don't look right. They're hanging unusually. That's a little bit of a red flag. It's a warning to me that perhaps what I'm going to have to do when pressing this kilt is that I press the fell, I press the pleats, but then I press the hip on the ham to get that shape. Yeah. So now, having done this, right, because I'd marked, as you can see, that mark there, that was at the final pleat right there. And now that tells me the width of the front apron at the waist, and it's 20 inches, which is, would you look at that, bang on what I'd predicted. 20 waist, 21 seat. And look at that, bang on 21. So, hooray. So now with that, because let me just roll this kilt up and do the usual backwards roll here. Now again, we decided that the yellow line was going to be centered on the front apron. So 10 and 10, we can see my mark there, and 10.5 right there. And we've got marks on the other side, right on. Right. Now, do I still have my... I do. And there we are. And there. Okay. Right on. So we're pretty much back to business as usual, as you've seen with the other kilts. So that seam, bit of herringbone in here to stabilize, capture really the top of the deep pleat. And then that shall be the outside edge of the apron. So again, when we get to this stage, the usual, bringing it back about 3/4 of an inch, and then yeah, pretty much business as usual from here. If I can think of something noteworthy that's worth stopping everything and showing you, I shall do so, but as it looks right now, you won't hear from me again until we have the final summing up of the work done on this kilt. So yeah, thanks for stopping by. It's getting a bit near supper, so I think it just might be time to lay it up for the day, and motion sickness alert.